Are we ready?
I'm ready. Come
Right,
on.
okay. Let's just get my script sorted.
Ooh, look at your neat handwriting.
Do you think it
You
is?
left or right?
Left.
Just like me.
Oh yeah. We're more creative.
Yeah, but the right-handed people will never know the struggle of being a lefty and smudging.
That's true.
Remember in school?
You've got to write like
Smudging. Oh, bastards.
His guest is a house and techno producer from North Shields. He is the party starter who played to 52,000 Geordies at St James's Park. He was released on Patrick Topping's label Trick. Please put your hands together, make some noise. It's Schak!
It wasn't until later in life, when I went to high school, that I started listening to dance music.
Hi guys, it's Schak. Are you ready? I had people telling us to kill me selling that, man. People shouting Tune Black White Army in the #1 club in the world.
How did that feel? Because your energy right there was like, it went from this to this.
It was just me, Ben and Patrick in the box. If I didn't come from Newcastle, I wouldn't be where I am. I'm going to start a mental health charity to help people and make the world a better place. I got in trouble with the police a lot. I love being doubted because I've been doubted my whole life.
Yeah. Were you doubted in your career now? Hello and welcome back to The Known and the Unknown, powered by the Happy Head Hub and brought to you by me, Sophie Kelly Elliott. Today on our show we have Schak.
Hola.
Schak or Shaquille?
Should just call us Schak.
Schak.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
The only people who really call us Shaquille is my mum and
Alright.
one or two others, so I will let you call me Schak.
Schak. So Schak is a very well-known DJ here in the Northeast, and I think it's really nice as well to have a local on who's done so well.
That's very kind of you to say.
So I wanted to know, like, I want to not delve into the present. I want to go all the way back to before.
Okay.
So what got you into music?
See, I grew up in a music household. I was exposed to music from a very young age because my mother is very music orientated and she has a vast, deep wealth of knowledge pertaining to music. However, what's different from my story is most people would think that because I'm an electronic music artist, you know, I grew up listening to Tiesto, you know, Ferry Corsten, people like that during the trance era, but I didn't. I grew up listening to Tupac, Dr. Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent, NWA, the Fugees, Sean Paul, people like that. What happened to me was I remember actually once when me and my friends were going to do a talent show, because they do talent shows in school. Right. We were going to do a rendition of Straight Outta Compton by NWA, and I don't know if you know the lyrics, but there's the whole song's just cursing left, right, and centre. Right. And I just envision us now on stage, and I'd be like, just coming out of the bar. I probably would have got excluded from school. But I was always into music from that age, but where it changed was when I went to high school. So back then, this is 2005, my high school was entrenched in Makina, or as it's known by most people as New Monkey, which is named after the nightclub, the notorious nightclub from Sunderland, former nightclub, which closed in 2006. It was, for those that don't know, it was a nightclub that was open every Saturday, private members dance club that served no alcohol, thus they were allowed to stay open till 7 a.m. in the morning. Okay. Which those days are long gone now, you can't do anything like that. Yeah. But we used to get the tape, you used to get the tapes weekly, and there was a stall in the quayside Newcastle that used to sell them. And every week everyone would be like, oh, have you heard this? And this is in the early days of Bluetooth. I remember I had a Samsung D500 and with Bluetooth or use infrared and send each other like sets, and it'd be like little snippets of the sets from the Monkey. Right. You'd like set your favourite one as your ringtone. And going into high school, I was a skater. used to wear baggy clothing and that. I used to go and skate at Exhibition Park, listen to Tupac. He was like my biggest idol. And just slowly but surely in that I started like wearing Birkhouse, tracksuits and stuff like that.
Right.
Got a pair of TNs and I changed that. And I remember at the time my mum was, she didn't like the change. She started calling us a chava. And I was just like, Mum, you just need to accept this is who I am. And I remember I wanted a Mara Peak jacket, which is made by Birkhouse for so long. And they're so expensive, but I remember one Christmas my mum got us one, the red one. I was buzzing.
Do you feel like that was her way of accepting?
Yeah, I think eventually she just accepted it and just accepted us for who I was. But I then started MCing, and I remember I was walking down the street one day, and like we all used to just have one earbud in.
Right.
We used to get the best ones at the time with them gum ones. I can't remember who makes them, but we used to just have them in, right? And you'd be listening to your favourite Monkey set. And I remember one day I was walking home and I was like, I think I want to be an MC. I think I'm going to do MCing. So what I did is I stayed off school for 2 weeks, and I used to ring up the school pretending to be my mum. I'd be like, hello, so Shaquille's not coming in today because he's not feeling very well. And you'd be, all right, what class is he in? He's in 9A. All right, thank you, bye.
Did they believe you?
Aye. So I remember I was 13 at the time, so the butt of the boy.
Right.
And what happened was I stayed off school. My mum would go to work. She'd think I was going to work, school. I'd hide in the back alley till a bus arrived. Once a bus arrived, I'd let myself back in.
Right.
So then I used to get myself a weight bar, do some exercises. And then I went on LimeWire and basically gave my computer aids. And I would be downloading like my favourite MC's lyrics and stuff. And I would stand in the mirror. And my mum had a microphone. She used to record into a tape cassette. And I sat there and I'd be like, it started off when RYT, Tazo met the ACA, got together, started shit, said that we will never quit to get the licking in the right. I'd be just like practicing other people's lyrics. And after 2 weeks, people were like, where's Shaquille, where's Shaquille? And I turned up, I'd put slits in my eyebrows. Turned up, I was like that. And then I was just like, I've learned how to MC. I'm an MC now.
Did you tell your teachers that?
No. They were like, where the hell have you been? I was just like, I've been sick. Just made up some bullshit lie, basically. But I remember one day my mum found the letters that they were sending. What's this? Fucking grounded. So that was the end of that. And so that's where it started.
Did you tell your mum? She obviously knows now, but at the time, did you tell your mum?
No. No,
Right.
I never did. No, my mum, she's so anti that music. I remember like I was never allowed to own a set of decks. And I remember one day my mate let us borrow his turntables. And I lived in a terraced house in Whitley at the time. And I remember I got a set of decks and that and a mic. And next door to me was like, it's not residential care, but like some old people live there. I remember one day this guy was visiting his mother. And I was stood at the window, right, on the main road, and I was pretending the people on the street were my audience. And I was just like this, yeah, vibe, blah, 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 I'm saying that.
How old were you?
14. Right. This neighbour came bringing on my door, and he was like, it's fucking, turn it down and that. And I was like, and then I heard my mum coming up the stairs. She saw the deck, she was like, what the fuck's this? You better get these out now. I had to carry them in the fucking rain back to my mate's house. I was like, oh, my mum said I'm not allowed these. So
your mum obviously approves now?
Yeah. My mum's like my hero, and do you know what it is actually? So like obviously after I developed after that, I learned to write poetry. And then I used to write and make rap music, and then I got into electronic music through going out. Now, for those who are listening who are quite a bit younger, the nightlife of Newcastle back then was very, very good. It's changed a lot now, unfortunately. But digital, back in its peak, I think it was ranked 11th best nightclub in the world by DJ Mag, which is incredibly prestigious. And I've had some of the best nights of my life in that nightclub, and I'm so grateful I grew up during that time period. He was there every Saturday, just vibing, having the best time. The sound system was amazing. And that's how I ended up becoming a DJ. But
through digital?
Basically going out and being exposed to that electronic music, which back then was like EDM. So you had like people like Avicii, Dimitri Vegas, like Mike Hardwell, Martin Garrix, all that log, Swedish House Mafia and that. And we used to, honestly, I got schooled so much there as a punter, because I remember the excitement of going and hearing music I'd never heard before, and be like, wow, what the fuck's this tune? Going up to Dorman, half cutting that. Alright, mate, do you know what tune that was? And they're just keep, yeah, mate, I just want to fucking do my shift and fuck off, get the fuck off us. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, oh, I knew it was, pal. Such a brag, but like, I fell in love with it through that, and I was in the smoking area one day, this is 10 years ago, and I saw one of the DJs and I asked him, I said, hey look, how can I get a set here? He said, send us a mix and we'll go from there. And then 6 months later I ended up getting a slot. But during this whole time, my mum was at work, I was on the dole, and I used to just sit and mix all day whilst my mum was out of the house. And that's where I learned my craft. And then December 2023 I ended up getting a shot. And
so am I right in thinking you got your turn through meeting Patrick Toppin?
By turn, what do you mean?
Like you were able to step into the industry the way you have?
No, this was much later. So it was digital. I got my gig at digital because of two people. One was a guy called...
No, I mean as in now.
Oh, now?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Ben Hemsley taught us how to write music because we lived together, and he's one of my very good friends. Okay. And the thing about Ben is, because he's further ahead than me, we call him the guinea pig, because every mistake he feels he's made, he's told me not to do. Yeah. So I've, like a lot of people have said, how have you got where you are so quick? And I said, because I learned from the best. Yeah. Ben.
And do you feel as though like every milestone you've had in your career, like going from digital and then going now, you've had the help of the people in digital, you've got the help of Ben Hemsley and Patrick Toppin. Do you feel as though it's always been the people around you who's guided you to be the best you can be to get you to where you are?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if anybody thinks they can make it on their own, they've got delusions of grandeur. It doesn't work like that. You need team. Okay. You need to know people. Obviously, you've got to possess talent and skills and ability. Course. But having, like, you know, I get asked all the time of all the cities I've travelled to, like, can you help us out? And I said, like, look, like, I was incredibly blessed and grateful, and I don't think that's by chance. I know I've only just met you, but I'm a firm believer in when you incarnate into a lifetime, you pick your parents and you pick what you want to do with your life. And nothing's guaranteed. However, you're predisposed or predestined on a certain path. And like, if I wasn't born in Newcastle, if I lived in somewhere like Bath or somewhere, I wouldn't be here because I had the support structure. However, one thing I'd like to state is, and this was brought to my attention by Mr. Jam from Capital Dance, who's a radio presenter. He said, Patrick Toppins gave the opportunity he gave you to many people, but nobody else has really been able to materialise that opportunity into what you have. And I sat and I thought about that, and I went, you know what, you're right. And I'm not being egotistical or arrogant, but I worked very, very hard to get where I am, and I maximised the opportunity. I went, look, I may never get this opportunity ever again. I'm going to show the world who I am. And that's what I did. Kicked the door straight off the hinges. And that's why 50% of where I am isn't because of me music, it's because of all the crazy stuff I did. Yeah. I did all the pop-up stuff and that I done, riding through the frigging Beacon Centre in No Shields on a petrol motorised scooter.
Did you make that yourself?
I got a friend to make it for us, and like, you've never seen anybody do that ever. It's crazy. Do you know what I mean? And but the thing is, though,
can you explain who that is? Because some people, so bear in mind, this is going to be in Dubai as well. People are probably thinking, what on earth is he going on about?
So for those listening, like, I had an alter ego called Nana Makina. Nana Makina, basically, the genesis of her began in lockdown because I had a Halloween costume, because me and Ben Hemsley, when we lived together, I love Halloween, and I was like, look, let's have a Halloween party. and I decided, what can I do? I'd like a really good Halloween costume. And I was looking at masks, and this company that makes these masks, they made some really good ones. However, unbeknownst to me at the time, the male masks will only fit a certain circumference of a skull.
Right.
And as you can see, I'm not the tallest person in the world. So when I found out, I measured my head, and I realised that I've not got a big head, so I couldn't fit into a male mask. And the only female mask I would wear was this old Hagrid woman. I thought, yeah, if I dress up as an old woman, it'll be funny. So I dressed up. I went to Primark, did some reconnaissance. I literally scoped out some old women to see what they were wearing because I didn't know what to buy.
Right.
So obviously I don't wear them clothes.
So you were looking at them and thinking, right, I'll get that.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Exactly. So I did that, and then had the Halloween costume, party, and that was that. A couple of months later, as
She
you all
was
know,
born.
COVID came.
Oh, okay.
So I was sat on Xbox Live playing a game with my friend, who's actually now my tour manager, and I said, mate, if I dressed up with that outfit on and I live streamed Makina. Now, for those who don't know what Makina is, it's Spanish hardcore music, which is very popular in this part of the country.
Right.
And I said, I think it'd be funny. And he went, it's a great idea because it's unique. So that's where the genesis began. And it evolved from there. I remember my first live stream, I had 25 people watching me on Facebook.
25?
25 people.
That's it?
That's it. 25 people, right? And then the next time I did it, I had 1,700 people.
After the 25? Why just word of mouth?
Just one of my videos, because I would record my set and then I would upload it, and one of the clips went viral. So everyone was sharing it, and they were like, who on earth is this Nana Makina? Because nobody knew who I was.
Right, okay.
And originally I intended to keep my identity hidden, and I'm glad I didn't, because when she came to her demise, so to speak, all my fan base from that I took with us. So
She got killed off, didn't she?
yeah, I blew her up on a scooter, set her on fire.
Did you actually set the scooter on? Did you?
That's all real, that. Before the fire brigade didn't even come to see how big the fire was.
They didn't come?
Nah, they never came.
So how did you put it out?
Didn't.
You just left it?
Didn't, I just walked away. Just walked away and left it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so yeah, when she died, I took all my fan base with us. So I built up a good fan base, so it was a great transition point for my launch of my debut single. So yeah, so the Nana thing really helped us and moulded us into who I am, and all of the sketches I did, I mean, like I drove down the fish quay with fireworks strapped to the back of the scooter, dressed as Super Mario, ended up on, what was it, Criminals Caught on Camera on Channel 5.
Did you?
Yeah, ended up on Have I Got News For You on BBC, ended up on Fuji Television in Japan, which is the biggest television network, got like 75, 80 million views on my videos now. So I had a great platform to build off. And then at the time I was doing the Nana stuff, I was writing music in the shadows. And then I remember in November 2021, I wrote Moving All Around Jumping, which was my debut single. I think it was like a week after I'd written it. Patrick Toppin invited us to come to Trick as a guest on guest list. Now me and Patrick are both from the same town, but we weren't proper pals. We knew each other. If I saw him, I'd say, oh, you're right, mate. But we weren't like proper mates. And he invited us down. I went, this is my gift from the universe, this is it. So I went down really early before anybody else. And he came in, he gave us 10 minutes of his undivided attention. So said, you're smashing the Makina scene, I love what you're doing. And I said, look, Patrick, I'm sitting on a lot of music, and Ben Hemsley seems to think that you might like it. Is there any chance I could send it to you? He went, yeah, mate, of course, I'd love to take out all your music. And then about a week later, got a message off him, and Ben's gave him my number, and he went, yeah, mate, I've just played your tunes and they're unreal. He went, I'm playing at Mint Warehouse tonight, I'm going to test them out and I'll report back. And then 6 o'clock in the morning, as he just come off stage, he sent us a voice note saying, Said basically, yeah, I'm in the middle of Min Club. I've just played you 3 songs. They were the highlight of my whole set.
Oh,
And here we are, I'm talking to you.
that's amazing.
So
How inspirational is that?
mental, man. Like Patrick's, like originally it was just supposed to come out and Trick by itself, but then Ministry of Sound, because he's got an upstreaming deal with them, he basically, Ministry said, look, we would love to sign your record. And they gave us a lot of money for it. I cried down the phone to Ben Hemsley. I didn't know how much money I was getting, and because it's a lot of legal jargon.
Yeah.
And unless you're like a lawyer, then it's hard to decipher.
Yeah.
And I was like, he was like, look, go to section 2, that's the most important, that's you had money. And I saw how much money they were giving us, and I cried like a little boy down the phone to them, cried.
What did your mum say?
My ma's, she was just so over the moon for us, and she sent us you know what it is, my mum sent us a text one night. It was really late at night, especially for my mum, it was like 12:30. And she said, it gives me so much joy, or fills my heart up with so much joy knowing that you are living your destiny and your purpose. I'm so proud of you and what you've achieved. I knew when you were born that you would do amazing things, and you would grow into an amazing person, and you also helped me grow. I loved you before you were even born.
Oh.
So
going back to when you were younger, because you talk a lot on your social media about how you give your mum a tough time. What did you do? Explain that.
So I was a hyperactive child. I think like if I was a child now, I'd be diagnosed with ADHD. But
Do you think you've got ADHD?
yeah, I do. But
I've got ADHD.
it's undiagnosed, but as I've got older, it's got worse. I know that I've got it because I know the traits, and like short attention span, and they know if I'm cleaning up, be washing the dishes, then I'll stop in the middle, and then I'll go and
on
hoover
something
up,
else.
and then I'll be like doing this, and then I'll be doing. So like certain habits, I know.
Do you not think it's your superpower though? Because I use mine as a super. Like sometimes I'll get mental ideas will come to us, and then I'll have to ring the content creators immediately because I'm like, if I don't do it now, I'll forget.
Yeah.
Do you feel as though it's the same with music? Are you like, oh my god, I need to do this now before I actually forget it, and then it comes to life?
ADHD can be a superpower if it's utilised correctly, and I think everything's a perception, and I think a lot of people perceive it wrong. They look at it as a hindrance rather than a gift. It's a gift to me, or superpower in. I mean, I know like today it might not look like it, but I've got loads of energy. Like I never drink coffee, I don't need it. I'm just very tired today because I'm jet lagged still from Australia. But like loads of people say to me like, how on earth are you like that? Like I don't drink any stimulants, I don't need them, I'm fully charged as it is. So in that respect, I get loads of energy and I love that. The second thing is, I get lots of creative ideas. It's not really so much music, it's content, and like all the mad stuff I've done that just comes from the beyond.
Yeah.
Like I've got some crazy ideas which I'm not going to divulge now, but I do get creative ideas, but it's not necessarily with music.
Just
with music, it's more if I sit down and do it.
Yeah.
Like Ben Hemsley's a prime example of this. That kid's a genius. He's like Avicii, and he'll get like melodies in his head. I don't get any of that, me.
Right.
I don't, like people go, I've got this idea, I need to do this. That doesn't happen with me. It's more, if I hear a vocal, I build nearly all my tracks off vocals. I know a good hook when I hear one.
Right.
So I'll be like, I'll just write it in my phone though. And then when I want to write music, I'll work on it. But I'm not like, right, I have to do this right now. But with content and that, I do get some very, very, very creative ideas that are well outside the box that nobody else thinks of. So, yeah. But yeah, I think it's energy and the creative ideas. Because like when I'm in my normal self, because I'm still very tired, but when I'm my normal self, I've got lots of energy, and I love that. Like I know people who physically can't function without coffee, and for those of you out there, I'm assuming that's a lot of you guys. Like, that's not to discredit you in any way. I'm just grateful I don't have to drink it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's fair enough.
I'm just charged, and I think you just alluded to a great point that it is a superpower and it can be used. It's how you utilise it. It becomes a hindrance with cleaning. Like really does. Like if I've got like, I find as well, I don't know if you do, I can get overwhelmed very easily.
Yeah.
So you know, like if I'm
it makes me stressed, and
yeah,
I feel like my
I
body
get
actually buzzes. Like I can feel it physically in me.
What, like fizzing?
Like it's like I feel like I'm buzzing all the time.
Right. So, for instance, if you're in a shop and you've got loads of choice, it's like, to me, it's like, fuck.
I can't.
Yeah, it's too much.
I'm like, do it online.
Yeah.
I hate being around loads of people, and that because you feed off other people's energy as well, don't you?
Yeah, do I.
So you've got loads of people around you, and I'm like, I'm absorbing all these different energies. I don't know what I want, and then I feel like I'm overstimulated.
Yeah.
So I need to get out.
Yeah. I get. See, the thing is, though, but like, imagine my perspective. You know, when I open my music software, I have infinite possibilities. So I go through phases where I'm like, I can't write because I'm.
Are you sometimes like, I just need to stop and I'll go back to it later?
Yeah. It's just, so I get an idea, come back to it later, but there's some days where I'm just like, because I've got infinite possibilities, I don't know what to do. Because it's like overload, I'm like, fuck. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm still working on that at the minute. I've got some great music. To be honest, like I've got enough music for 2 years, so that I'm not like stressed. So I've written so many good tunes. I actually wrote a song that Sony, who I'm signed to, they won't let me release it yet.
When are you allowed?
Next year. They said because they think it's a global hit.
Right.
And they said it's too soon. You need to wait. Build your fan base first.
And can I put that out there?
Yeah, of course you can.
Okay.
Of course you can. I've told a lot of people about that.
Okay.
And you know what's great? And I'd just like to give a shout out to all the guys at Ministry of Sound. They're owned by Sony. Most major labels would be like, screw this kid. We just want the money. We don't care about his career. Do you know what I mean? But they're literally building us. And then you've got to play a game of chess. Like, I'm one wrong move away from fucking my whole career. Do you know what I mean? It's a game of chess.
How does that affect you mentally, knowing that you could mess your entire career up?
Sorry. I don't worry about it because I know I've got the right team around us. And I already know my destiny and where I'm going, so I don't worry about that.
Okay.
But it's comforting to know that I get checked. Do you know what I mean? Because I'll be like, let's get this out now. And they're like, no, you need to wait. And then I sit down and think about it and process it and internalise it. And I'm like, actually, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, you want everything like now.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for that. So
right, so going back to your mum, how did you make it difficult for her?
Well, first of all, to start with, I wasn't an easy child to raise for a lot of different reasons. Very hyperactive, so I was very disruptive in school. So all my school reports are all like bright, intelligent boy, but could do better, blah blah blah. Right. I did some very, very bad things when I was younger. I was in and out of trouble with the police. And then on top of that, I remember my mum. I told my mum one day, I know this might sound daft to people who are watching now because we live in a different world, but because I just yearned to fit in, I just wanted to be accepted when I was a child. And obviously I grew up in a predominantly white school. I was the only lad who was mixed race, really. I think one day, because I got sick of getting bullied, I said to my mum, I wish I was the same colour as Andrew, who was my best friend. My mum cried herself to sleep because she thought she'd failed as a parent. Like, why does my son feel this way? And that bothered her a lot. And then evolving from that, I got into trouble with the police a lot, got arrested a lot. And I was on a bad trajectory, and the turning point for me was obviously I was, suspended from school for doing stupid stuff. And do you know what it is? Like, some of the stuff I used to do when I used to get in trouble with the police, it was out of boredom. Right. Just doing stupid shit. We used to buzz off, smashing people's windows, and obviously, when you're a child, you don't think about the consequences. Yeah. Like, if someone chucked a brick through my window now, I'd fucking throttle them. Do you know what I mean? But you just don't care. Yeah. I remember one of the turning points for me was I got arrested when I was 14 or 15, and I'd been out drinking on the streets, just fucking causing havoc. And I was in the interview room and my ma was crying, and seeing my ma cry just broke my heart. I kind of stand to see my ma cry. It's just horrible. And then this is the thing about there's no coincidences in this life.
Right.
I got convicted of common assault when I was 15. I was a juvenile still, but I had to do this thing called YOT. Don't know if it exists anymore, but it stands for Young Offending Team. So the whole objective of YOT is to rehabilitate the child. So I had to do community service, so I worked in residential care, serving them food and cleaning dishes. And then you would sit down one-to-one with like a counsellor, and they would psychologically evaluate like where you're at and try and instill better values in you. And one day, this guy came in who was doing a degree in social care summit, and he through one of his projects he needed to do something with the youth. He was like, any of the lads up for doing a documentary, and I was just like, I'd love to, because I come from an acting background.
Right.
I started acting when I was very young, so I was just like, yeah, I'd love to. And this is that again, the creative aspect of me. And I said, why don't we do a documentary on pier jumping? He says, what do you mean? I says, right, look, we go and jump off the piers in Collarcourt and off the seawall for fun. However, it's demonised at the time. It's not anymore, but at the time they went through an era where they were demonising the kids for doing it. So we did it, and it was funny because we called it peer pressure.
Right.
But instead of PER, it's PIER. And one day we went to interview the lifeguards, and all of them refused to be on camera except for one man.
Right.
One guy called Will Hogg, who sadly passed away a long time ago. And did a great interview with him. And he said to us after we stopped filming, he says, why don't you become a lifeguard? And I was like, I don't think so. Because we used to look at the lifeguards as a bunch of freaks.
Right.
Because they used to tell me what we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that authoritarian thing. And a year later, I ended up becoming a lifeguard. That was the turning point. I completed YOT.
Right.
And I decided to myself, I don't want to be this person anymore. Started sticking in school, learned to be a lifeguard, and by the time I was qualified, I'd done all my GCSEs. I got everything. I got 7 C's and a B, and I was projected E's, F's and G's.
That's
so that
amazing.
was a big fucking fuck you to everyone in school.
Yeah.
I love being doubted, because I've been doubted my whole life.
Yeah.
And I love being an underdog.
Were you doubted in your career now? At any point?
In the early days, and then I got. I've suffered loads of abuse off people online, and it's to me it's just out of pure jealousy.
How does it affect you mentally? Like, how does it affect you?
Do you know what it is? The reason why it bothers us is, you know, like me and you were just having a brief chat off camera. I ultimately want to try and contribute to changing the world and making it a better place, right? Which is, with my music, I take people away from their misery from the week. Just let them escape, take them to a happy place, you know? But also teach values through education, and which in turn, it's like the subtle change the world. Don't know if you've ever saw the film Pay It Forward, came out years ago.
No.
But it's basically like if I do something nice for you, you do something nice for 2 people, you do something nice for 3 people, and it's a knock-on effect. Eventually, we can create a better world, and that's what I want to do. And when I see my fellow humans acting in complete asinine behaviour, abhorrent behaviour, it hurts us, because I'm like, you just don't see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Because ultimately you're just hurting yourself, because the energy you give off is what you receive. It's a law of the universe. It's how energy works.
So how do you respond?
I don't.
How does it affect your energy?
I think best way I could just actually say is respond. I don't reply. I let my music do the talking.
Okay.
But I use that as fuel. So for instance, I was attacked by thousands of people a couple of months ago online, and had like major people asking us like, are you okay, and that, and I was just like, mate, they're giving me fuel you can't buy.
What was that because of, if you don't mind me asking?
Because I played an unorthodox set at a festival. My whole life I've always done me. I don't. I'm a leader, not a follower. I do me and I be authentic. If I was to copy someone else, I'm not being authentic. And unfortunately, we have an epidemic of unauthentic people because of social media. Everybody's trying to be blowjogs down the street. Joe Blogs, but only you can be you.
Yeah.
You are one of one, as I am one of one. Only I can be me. And I wish more people would realise that, but people choose to be somebody else.
Do you think you're a spiritual person?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How do you live as a spiritual person? Do you believe in karma, manifestation?
Yeah, it's all laws of, this is the thing what people don't realise, like look. And again, I think this goes back to people can't see it. And I guess my really egregious example I could say of energy in consciousness, because you can't see it, is the people in Chernobyl when the nuclear plant blew up, they couldn't see the radiation, but it killed them, right? Energy, because we can't see it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Where energy goes, energy grows, and the best way I could epitomise power of the human consciousness and how your mind makes your reality. Imagine you've got some land, you plant a carrot in it, you plant nightshade in it, right? The land is impartial, it doesn't care what you plant in it.
Right.
It'll return whatever you plant. Up pops a carrot, up pops the poison. Your mind is exactly the same, however it's a lot more fertile. So it will plant whatever you return. So if you're sat there planting negative thoughts, and guess what? You'll get negative back. It's the way it works. We become what we think about. That is how life works, and this is why.
Do you think you put out negative thoughts when you did that set, and that's why you got...
No, not at all. No, not at all. I was doing something that's unorthodox, and how it was described to me by other, because this is everything's perception. I don't look at it as anything bad. I got loads of free publicity. Thousands of people who don't know who I am were talking about us, and they gave us fuel you can't buy. I was just like, is this the case? And they just motivated us even more to keep going. And do you know what it is? I seen a Twitter post by John Summit, and he said, unfortunately for my haters, this weekend I'll be living my best life. And I think one thing I've had to ascertain is, unfortunately, there's negative people in this world, and there's jealous people, and I've just learned to accept it.
When you very first started, was it like, could you cope with it well?
What did you mean?
Like when you very first started in this career and you started getting the negative comments? Because when...
Didn't get it in the beginning.
You didn't?
This is what I'm saying.
Because when I started doing content for real estate on social media, there was a lot of negative comments because it was, well, she's a girl from Newcastle. How was she in Dubai making all this money selling houses? And I got told, you're on OnlyFans, like you came out with money, you're a shit mum, you're this, that and the other. Like none of that's true. But I remember when I first got the comments, I rang my mum and I was like, I can't cope with this. Like I really can't. And she was like, well, you've gone down this path now. You choose, either leave it because you've only just started, because the amount of followers and like interaction were hit so soon, like so quickly, was like, I didn't expect it, and it came with a load of shit at the same time.
Listen, if you were getting hate, it's because you're doing something right. Unfortunately, and this is a massive flaw of the human consciousness and how we are as humans, some people cannot stand to see other people succeed, and I hate to think that, but it's a fact.
Yeah.
And the way you got to look at it is, look, I'm doing something right. Like I told you, nobody was giving me shit until I started getting somewhere. It's just jealousy. Remember though, it's not about you, it's about them. It's how they express their dislike and hatred for their own life. It's just an outlet, and that's one thing you have to like look at as like, It might hurt, but it's not about me, it's about them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I very quickly, very quickly, because I had to have a word with myself, stopped caring. And I thought, right, do you actually want to make this work and gain more clientele from it? Which that's the aim of it. It's not for anything else other than to receive new clients and to sell property through social media as well. So I was like, if I want to do that, that's my goal, that's what I have to focus on. I don't care now, I don't even look now. But sometimes I've got people, like friends and family, messaging me and they're like, my gosh, have you seen this comment, Sophie? And I'm like, no, because I don't look anymore. Because if I do, I'll look too much and I'll say things that I don't want to say.
Yeah, I do. Like, for me, like, I had people telling us to kill me selling that, man. And I'm like, it's so disappointing to see people acting so...
It's actually sad.
So pathetic and so sad. And I think you've got to remember this is, you've got to pity people like that. Like, look, imagine being that person. Imagine getting up every day and hating on people who you don't even know. Go and take a look in the mirror. What does that say about you as a person? You really need to really need to think about your own behaviour. And if you wonder why your life's so fucking shit, go and look in the mirror and maybe you'll realise why. If you want to change your life, do something about it. You are the architect of your reality. Do you know what it was? I had an epiphany 5 years ago before I began my spiritual journey. I looked at myself in the mirror and I couldn't stand what I saw anymore. Didn't like it. And do you know what I did? I did something about it and embarked on a spiritual journey. And I worked on myself and I worked on myself and worked on myself. It's been a long 5 years. Lots of upsetting moments, but I faced the fire, walked into the furnace. Some people are reluctant to. And I've met many people in my life who they're too afraid, and I'm like, look, I'm not here to judge. If you're not ready, you're not ready. But my belief is the main purpose of life is to grow and evolve. This is why we are here. We're not just here to pay checks, pay bills. You think all this was put together by accident? Do you understand the circumstances that have to be created in order for life to exist? You think this was done by accident? Really? No, we are here to grow and evolve, and when your time's up, you move on to the next challenge. So if you look at it like that, embrace your pain, embrace your challenges and obstacles, because those are what are going to make you evolve and grow, and that is why you came here.
I love that.
So that's the way I look at it. Everything's perception. That's how you look at it.
That's amazing.
I lost my suitcase coming back from Australia. I was just like,
so, have you got it back yet?
no, fuck. But like, I was just like, everything's replaceable, so fucking whatever. You try and develop the unfuckwithable mentality. So where you were just alluding there about comments, you either filter them so they don't show, you just don't even look at them. Don't let them affect you, just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what I ended up doing, I ended up deleting my Twitter, and I'm actually so glad I did. It's the best thing I've ever done. One of the best things I've ever done in my life, because it's just a cesspit of negative people.
Yeah.
And I'm out here trying to spread positivity, love and light, and it's draining. And remember, there's two types of people in this world: batteries and battery drainers. Sorry, excuse me, batteries and battery chargers.
Okay.
You're either a battery or a battery charger.
Right.
And I know you're a battery charger.
And you're a battery
as
charger.
I'm a battery charger. But you gotta be careful of batteries, because they will drain the fuck out of you.
I love that.
Seriously, so, but I do hope in time that eventually enough people will wake up and they will evolve and go.
I think they will. I think the ones who want to, you've got to want to. You've got to want to change first.
Amen. Amen. And do you know what, I came to the realization, you know, like when someone comes to you with a problem and you're like, I've just learned, like, look, unless they're coming and asking you for help, I just don't even bother, because they're not ready.
Yeah.
I've got like one of my relatives, my siblings, I love her a bit, but she's just not there yet. I've had a discussion with her and I get gauge, and I'm just like, when the time's right, you know.
Because it drains you as well. That's the thing.
Yeah.
On that note,
Yes.
I want to say thank you so much, because I feel like you've really I feel like I've seen a different side to you, like what you say on social media. Everyone says like social media is not real, and I don't know when I'm actually going to let that sink in. Like it isn't. Like you're such a nice spiritual person who's like, you just give off such a good energy, and you just want people to be good people and be happy, and you want that for yourself. And I love how you've completely changed like your world around. I think it's so inspiring.
Thank
I
you.
think that will inspire so many people as well who watch this. I wish you all the luck in the world, and I just have one more question. What is your next step from here?
My next step is to continue obviously building on what I've got now, releasing all my music. I've got some really big tunes coming out in the next 12 to 18 months, building up my fan base, and then eventually I want to get to the point where I'm one of the greatest music artists in the world. I want to be eventually like where Calvin Harris. But I want to utilise my position to change the world. So eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my own mental health foundation. Now the problem I have with most mental health charities is they look at it from a biological perspective. The brain is deeper than cells and atoms and neurons and stuff. Spirituality is the key to fixing trauma. And most people have got mental problems because of trauma.
I believe, now this could start a conversation, I believe no matter how big or small it is, everyone has trauma.
Yeah, for sure. We're all on this journey together, you know, and everybody's experienced trauma in some way, but it can really, really destroy people. Do you know what it is? I've had countless conversations with people, and after a little while, I've deduced why they are that way. Because we don't come out of the womb like this. You are a byproduct of your environment. So I tend not to judge people, and I'm fascinated with understanding how people tick. Why did you get to this point? And if they're comfortable enough and they open up, and I'm like, yeah, but you need to work on your trauma, and that's what I did. Is it easy? Absolutely not. You know what? I've know friends who've experienced unspeakable things, and a few of them, not all of them, they really worked on the trauma and evolved and grew. And the way I look at it is this list. When you came to this lifetime, you chose your parents.
Yeah.
You chose these obstacles. This is your life journey. This is what you chose.
That, yeah.
Embrace it. Our pain can be our greatest teachers if we allow them to be. Like Rumi said, great philosopher from the 12th century, 11th century, it is through the wound that the light enters you, but it's a choice. Some people who are hurt, they will hold on to that bitterness, but in the end, it only hurts you. You have to let go, and I think forgiveness. Like I forgave my dad for abandoning me and all the shit I went through because of him not being there. And when I forgave him, it was like this blissful moment, and I now have a relationship with my dad, so I was able to forgive him.
Do you think forgiveness is the key to most things?
Yes, however, I think the problem is with forgiveness, and I understand this, is the perception. Most people think if you forgive someone, that means you're accepting what they've done. No, it's not about them, it's about you. So you don't carry that fucking burden around with you anymore. Because if you think about how much it affects you, every day I hate this person, hate this person, hate this person, hate this person. What's that doing to you? When you let go and you're just like, it doesn't bother you anymore.
Yeah.
You don't, it's not a condoning what they've done and accepting them for trespassing against you. It's just like, okay, I forgive you, you move on. I'll tell you a beautiful story quickly. There was this lad who nearly killed 6 of my friends in a car accident many years ago, and he asked him for a written apology because that means a lot to me. I have a record of it.
You asked him for
I
a
asked
written
him
apology?
for a written apology.
Okay.
Because he nearly killed about 6 of my friends. One of them was my girlfriend at the time. And the way he was, he didn't have a driver's license and he was intoxicated. Shouldn't have fucking been driving, right? He pretty much refused to apologise for years. I had to force him to apology, and it was half-arsed.
And you stick at it for years to get an apology out of him?
Yeah, right. And then eventually I was just like, whatever. And then when I began my spiritual journey, one day, because I've like pretty much run out of people to forgive now. I've been doing this for 5 years. But one day, he popped in my head and I was like, yep, I'm ready to forgive him. so I was working on them. 2 weeks later, I was in a bar in Whitley Bay for my friend's birthday, and there was this lad come up to us, and he put his arm around us, he went, yeah, Shaquille, I am so ashamed of how I treat you, and the fact that I didn't apologise to you. I was so ashamed of what I did, I didn't even know how to approach it, and I was terrified. I acted like a coward, and I'm so sorry. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me. And I looked at him and I smiled, I went, I've already forgive you, mate.
I think that was meant to happen.
That's,
like you were meant to be in that bar at the same time as him.
This is what I'm saying, this is how forgiveness works, and there's countless studies of when people have forgave someone. It's to do with energy and stuff. It's amazing, but like forgiveness, like it's really important, because when you hold on to it, it just consumes you from the inside out. And remember, what are we mainly comprised of?
Energy.
No.
Water.
Correct. Now, do you know what holy water is?
Yes.
What is it?
Water that's been blessed by
a priest or whoever.
Priest,
Okay, now, scientific experiment was done. This is fact. It's not conjecture, it's fact. Scientists in Japan got 3 jars of rice, filled them with water, then put the rice in. One day, he said nothing but abuse to one jar. Fucking hate you, hope you die. The second jar, totally ignored. The third jar, he said loving, positive affirmations to him. After 2 days, the first jar, which he hurled abuse at, the rice was rotten, completely black. The second jar, which he ignored, the rice had started to decompose.
Right.
But the third jar, which he said loving affirmations to, was fermenting and flourishing, so it was growing.
Right.
Which physically proved that we can change the molecular structure of water.